to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep, number 66. Now that's exciting. Oh yeah. Only watch this video. I'm actually streaming this live on Facebook. Only watch if you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube. Only watch if you can safely close your eyes, and if you're listening on iTunes or Spreaker or SoundCloud or Stitcher or TuneIn or wherever, only listen when you can safely close your eyes. So straight away I've got a few people join me. I'm speaking quietly, I always do anyway, but it's 10 to 2 in the morning, so I don't want to be making too much noise. Plus it is a sleep session. Brondolyn says hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, that's a bit of a weird noise. I make strange noises sometimes. Cassie Carter's here. Hi, Cassie. And I've got my laptop flashing right in my eyes. I need to, not in my eyes, in my lenses. And lovely Sebastian's here. And I need to get some anti-glare glasses. Will that stop people staring at me? I don't know. Or there's probably a way of I'm sure there's a way. No. System. I think there's a way to the display change brightness. That's it. So that's light. You can see in my eyes gone down. Oh, that's better. Excellent. Can't see anything on the screen now, but so as I said earlier, well, previous to this moment, only listen to this or watch this if you can safely close your eyes, because I am going to bore you completely. And I'm going to bore you to start with by answering Brondolyn's question, what are my hobbies and interests? So that's going to be the topic. That's going to be today's topic. And I'm going to bore you by telling you all about my hobbies and interests right from when I was a child. So you've opened this little book of no return, Brondolyn. It's your fault. So I'll talk about my hobbies now, about what I'm doing now, and then I'll go backwards in time. I don't know why I'm so pleased with myself. In a sense, and this did bug me, I think about probably 2 years ago. I've been doing this online stuff since 2006. So it's nearly 13 years. And a couple of years ago, my dad referred what I do as a hobby. And for me, I'm devoting my life to doing this. Not necessarily these boring things, but just generally the whole, my time and my energy is put into this. And so I don't really class this as a hobby, but the interests and things that I enjoy doing, then I'm beginning to enjoy doing the live streams a bit more than I was. There's been times in the past when I've done live streams and I didn't really enjoy doing them. I suppose it's because I felt that I was holding back a little bit, maybe editing myself at the same time as talking, and it just didn't seem, just seemed quite a difficult thing to do. But now I don't bother trying to edit myself because I don't want to say anything that needs editing anyway, really, I don't think. So my interests, I like helping people. Well, I like the idea of helping people. So I like to get feedback, to sort of, for me to see that, or to feel that what I'm doing is useful. I like, to be honest, this is kind of mainly what I do. I'm quite a focused person, and I'd like to be quite good at one thing, if I can, I don't know, what am I interested in? I like comedy, I like music, so I'm not one of these people that's stuck in a decade with music. I've met a lot of people that, and also seen comments on Facebook where people say, oh, there hasn't been a decent song written since 1973 or since 1989 or 1994, For me, my era, the two eras for me really was the 80s and the 90s for music, because I was young. I was a child and then a young adult during that period. But I like music from all eras. I like stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s to today. I like lots of kind of music. But as far as buying albums goes, with the internet and everything sort of is streaming, I haven't bought an album for a long time. Sebastian says Jason was an avid fan of the Backstreet Boys and other 90s boy bands. He has a room devoted to them. No, I don't. I wouldn't call myself an avid fan of the Backstreet Boys, but I was a fan. Especially their song, Backstreet's Back, Alright, that one, where they all kind of dress as Halloween characters, and was it Everybody? Also, New Kids on the Block. I remember, and it was the late 80s, I remember I had a job in 1989, and Backstreet Boys were like the biggest band in the world at that time, and they were huge. Obviously they're massive in America, but they were huge here as well, and they kind of overtook, I suppose, really, they took over from Bros, because before that Bros were the biggest band in this country, the biggest boy band, and then Backstreet Boys from America, not New Kids on the Block, kind of took that, and then after New Kids on the Block, in this country it was more take that and E17, they were kind of the main boy bands in my country in the early 90s. What other ones were there? There was lots of others through the 90s, Five, Blue, as well as the American ones, NSYNC, you know, plus there's girl bands, not just boy bands, there's girl bands as well. So yeah, Sebastian, I don't have a room devoted to the Backstreet Boys. I share that room between the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. So, you know, it's good to share. So, yeah, I quite like different things. What else do I like? I like things that work. I like it when things work and they come together. And yesterday I decided, I don't even know why I did it, but I decided to get all my equipment out, all my recording equipment, video stuff, audio, the microphones, everything out into the living room. Got a couple of bookcases I brought out here so I could put the stuff on there, and trying to get things organised. And I couldn't get some of the stuff I couldn't get to work, and then other stuff, I actually made a recording that was really good. Well, I thought it was quite good. I think it was a relaxation session. It's for about 20 minutes, and all the words just rolled off my tongue, and it's a weird expression, is words rolling off your tongue, like falling out of your mouth onto the floor. But at the end of it, it wasn't recorded. Oh, by the way, please like this video if you like what I'm doing, and I would say subscribe if you're on YouTube, share, make a comment if you want, for those that are watching live or watching afterwards. I decided to alternate between doing a live stream on YouTube and a live stream on Facebook. I might do a live stream on Twitter. However, I don't get a lot of activity on Twitter. Most of my followers, or the people that use my stuff, seem to be more Facebook orientated, or Twitter, or come to me from some other place. But Twitter never really kind of picked up for me, and because I've not gone down the road of pictures, like taking pictures of myself and in my bikini or whatever. So I've not kind of built a following based on my chiseled good looks. So, I mean, at the moment, my biggest following, or my biggest fan base at the moment, seems to be through the podcasts on Spreaker, and it's growing every day. It's quite amazing. With Spreaker, it's a really good place to host your podcasts, because you can host as many as you want. You can share them onto lots of other podcast directories, and they also allow you to put your stuff onto or to at least submit your podcast to Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play if you're able to. We can't do that in the UK, but in America you can add it to Google Play, I think. And it's just, the numbers are just going up and up. The downloads are increasing more and more every day. So I'm really pleased about that. So it's trying to keep track of what podcasts people like. And one of the most popular podcasts I've got is the Deep Sleep Whisper Hypnosis. And that podcast is popular for some reason. People like it, so I've started to produce a bit more regular sessions. And the Let Me Bore You to Sleeps seem to be quite popular. Was it Sleep Weekly? I did a Sleep Weekly sessions, like a 7-day sleep session, like podcast. That's quite popular. Anything to do with sleep, I think it's I'm just clearly just really boring. I just bore people to sleep. I'd like to be, well, kind of like be nice to be known for more than that. But you know what? Lack of sleep, or having, I don't know why I'm saying this, because people listening to this, a lot of people watching this or listening to this after this live stream or during, won't need me to tell them anything about sleeping issues, but sleeping's so important. It's so important, and I'm quite lucky in a sense of I can sleep pretty much any time of the day, providing there's not a lawnmower going on outside. Sometimes that can be a little bit, even then I can sometimes get to sleep. Not that there'd be a lawnmower in the middle of the night, but in the daytime. But I don't always really get like a full 8 hours sleep. I think it's just the way that my brain is, I don't know, it's I've more need like regular naps rather than be sleeping for 8 hours and then get up and be awake for 16 hours. It's not really how I seem to work. But I think one of the important things for me anyway is to give myself a break, to not put too much pressure on myself, because the one thing I've noticed, this goes for, I think, for lots of different things, is you can't force sleep. You can't force relaxation. Just like you can't force someone to like you, It's, those things don't work. Forcing something doesn't work. It's just have to let it happen naturally, if it's going to happen. And in some ways it can work the other way. So if you try and force yourself to stay awake when you're in bed lying down, you think, I'm going to stay awake, actually it can work the opposite way, and then you end up falling asleep. You try and keep your eyes open, or if you have a little staring contest with, I was going to say a goat, but with whoever, and it's a contest about whoever can go the longest without blinking, which I don't think is particularly good for your eyes. or your eyelids, or the other person's eyes, or their eyelids. But it's something that's like the eyelids just get heavier when you know, the more you think, oh, I'm going to keep them open, I'm going to win that, I'm going to win this prize, I'm going to win that golden lollipop that's on, you know, that's up for grabs. If I win this national prize, this national competition, if I can beat 700 people to get to the final, and I can win that golden lollipop, I can walk around with pride, knowing that I held my eyes open. So I think it's quite a good thing sometimes remembering that relaxing can't be forced, but it's very easy, because relaxing really is just, it's kind of like if you think about mentally relaxing, it's equivalent of just going from having a fist to just opening your hand, but not opening it, just letting it open naturally. It doesn't take any effort, it's the opposite. It just, or letting your hand just drop down to your leg. It's kind of just the equivalent of gravity. It's there. You know, if you've got a ping pong ball, for whatever reason, you might have one in your hand or wherever, and you just let it go, it's going to drop to the floor. Always. And you might say, yeah, but JJ, what if I'm in the space shuttle and I'm traveling around the world? And I say, yeah, okay, fair enough. But the chances are you're not in the space shuttle, and if you are in a space shuttle, you shouldn't be listening to this, because you should only listen to this when you can safely close your eyes. And I like to think that if you're flying a space shuttle, that you might need to a little bit of awareness there. And anyway, what you're doing with a ping pong ball, I imagine it'd be quite difficult to, because they're so light. Does everything, but there's a difference. Not everything has the same gravity, because zero gravity, something that's heavier, will be harder to move than something that's already really light, I'm guessing. So zero gravity, which is why when the spacemen are walking on the moon, they've got really heavy boots which keep them on the floor. Otherwise everything would float up, wouldn't it? It's only the heavy things that stay on the floor. Maybe. Ah, that's interesting. So yeah, I should perhaps share this. I wonder if I go and have a look. I'm going to go on Facebook and just see. Let's have a little look. Have a look at myself. So according to this, so I'm just looking down. So Sebastian's here. Can you hear the sound of the computer? It's loud. It's very loud. So I'm wondering if I'm able to share this with... So this is number 66, can you believe it? Number 66, Let Me Bore You to Sleep, live Facebook stream. Jason Newland, 19th of December 2018. So if I can share this, where can I share it? Share it to a page. So if I share it to my main page, maybe I'll get a few little visitors. People on my page aren't little. I'm just as an example. I think it's a shame. It's not a shame, but it'd be, if you go onto YouTube, you can share your videos on Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, what other ones? Pinterest. But there's a few different places that you can share your video. If you make a video or if you do a live stream on Facebook, all you can do is share it to Facebook. So I don't know, it's not really, it'd be nice to be able to share it to, in a way it'd be quite nice to be able to share it to YouTube. So I've just got another Beth Marie. Hi Beth Marie. So you're from Bristol, so I'm just checking out your profile. So you're from Bristol. So yeah, I've never been to Bristol. Never been there. This is so those that are watching now, if you ever watched any of my videos before, or is this the first time you've seen me and you thought, oh, what's this bloke doing on this live stream on Facebook, let's check him out, and there you're thinking, oh, why on earth? Beth Marie, Lydiard, hi, and I love your videos. Thank you, and I love you too. I love your videos as well. I like your eyes. You have very lovely eyes. Oh, it's nice to get a little bit of feedback. I don't get many people tell me what, if they like what I do and what it is they like, which videos they like, and and I've done so many. Sometimes somebody will say something like, oh, I really liked, or they'll make a comment on a video that I've done, but I don't know what they're referring to, because I forget what I've said pretty much as soon as I've said it, and as soon as the video's finished, I don't really remember what I've talked about. I mean, this video, at the beginning, I was asked about what hobbies and what interests I have, so I've not quite got around to really talking about hobbies and interests. I talked a little bit. I'm interested in processes, quite interested in the process of thinking and noticing patterns, kind of in behaviour or in thinking or in verbal, conversations, things that people do, things that people say, So Beth says, is it Beth Marie or can I call you Beth? I was literally just listening to you try and stay awake challenge about 20 minutes ago. Oh, first time I've never fallen asleep. Brilliant, so I get to meet you after a failure. It must have been why, probably just something was saying like, gotta watch him live. See that he really is that boring. It's okay, so Beth, I struggle with two names. Not struggle, but I think one name's enough. I'm going to call myself Jason. What should I call myself? I'll add another name. Sometimes people call me JJ. One person calls me JJ. Uncle JJ. It's not my niece. If you're still there, because I can never really tell because the numbers go down and up as far as who's watching me live. When I recorded that try and stay awake challenge, I remember it quite well because I had the keys to this room that I was using because I used to be a counsellor. I was working self-employed and I used to rent this room out that I could use to see clients. And it was just up the road from where I lived. So what I did is I went there probably 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I knew it would be quiet, because before that there was a pub that was just behind it, so it wouldn't be quiet enough sometimes. So what I did is I started going there and doing some recordings, and I took my laptop, which is where I played the music. I had the video recorder on a tripod. I had myself, I still can't remember what I was wearing on that day, but that evening, but you know, there was a wall behind. I suppose there's always going to be something behind you, isn't there? Eventually, even if you're in a desert, you know, a few hundred miles, there's going to be something behind you, a camel or something. And I was going to say camel eating a yogurt, but that wouldn't make sense. And I had the music playing, and I just remember, I don't know why I remember that time, because I thought I'm going to start giving some good names. I decided to sort of make some better quality sounding videos, which is quite a good quality, that one. And with the music, the pictures, fairly good. I mean, the lighting wasn't great in that room, but the cameras are a lot better these days. But you know, back then, I bought a video camera because the cameras on the phones weren't. They're okay, but not as good quality as an actual video camera. Because I think 2011 is when I got my first iPhone. Anyway, I recorded that video. It lasts about 20 minutes. And I think I might have recorded some others at the same time. And I went through a period and I kept going back there and making these recordings. And I uploaded it, and it was the first video, bearing in mind I've been doing this since 2006, it's the first video that really don't know what the right word is. I mean, it just became more popular than all the other videos that I'd done. It just, I think on that channel I had nearly 100,000 views at that time on that video alone. So it's very popular. It's always been the most popular video that I've ever had so far. And I've had quite a few different YouTube channels over the years. So yeah. And at those times when I have deleted the channel or the channel's gone for whatever reason, I actually have people email me or contact me on Facebook saying, where's the video? We need the I listen to it every night to sleep, and so I guess I have to take on that responsibility, But I should say that you can, everything that I do, this is to whoever's listening, including Beth, or Beth Marie, or Beth Marie Lydiard, Beth. Everything that I do is available to download for free on my website, jasonnewland.com. I do realise that it is easier to just watch it on YouTube, to just, you save the link on your laptop or wherever, and or on your phone, and you just click on it, and it just plays, it streams the video, it streams the music, streams the podcast, and it's just easier sometimes, isn't it, than downloading stuff. But everything is available, just to let you know, and I'm always available to help out if you need to know where stuff is. If you go to my website, there's over 800 sessions on there, and there's probably about nearly 500 videos and about 800 MP3s. So it's quite a lot of stuff. And I'm producing more and more lately for some reason. Going back to 2011. Sebastian, remember this because that's kind of the time that we started communicating on YouTube and then on Facebook. He used to be called the keyboard, either the keyboard guy, the keyboard guy, or the keyboard warrior, or something like that, the keyboard something. And he'd make music, and I decided to try and inject some energy into the videos, so not by being all boisterous and doing handstands, but just kind of by making the videos look a bit better, having an intro, making some videos of music, and trying to promote them, giving them maybe a catchy title or something like that. So I did a few like that. One was Kick Insomnia's Arse, one was Sleeping is Your Birthright. So they were quite popular, but I've made a few. I think I made a few kind of textbook errors along the way with some of the titles, which has been pointed out to me by some people online. Sebastian just reminded me he was called the Keyboard Dude because he was having a Yamaha keyboard, and something else about a Freudian slip. I've forgotten what I was saying now. I was talking about, oh yeah, some of the titles to my songs, my videos and my MP3s. I tried to sort of make them so that they're memorable a little bit. Not so much maybe these days, because this is number 66, Let Me Bore You to Sleep. It's not very memorable really, is it? It's I guess if you listen to a particular recording or watch a particular video and you like it and you think, oh, then all you got to do is just remember the number. But sometimes I do think, oh, perhaps I should have like a title as well. For this it could be My Interests. But then it's such a long title. And I've started putting down the date on everything that I do in the title. It might seem like a weird thing to do, but I started to lose track of when I had made recordings, and I really wanted to get things chronologically ordered, but I couldn't, because I'm kind of, a lot of the stuff I can remember roughly what year it was. Some of it, like the little spurt of videos that I made in 2011, around the summertime. So I made those, and they were, especially because I was using the Kevin MacLeod music underneath the videos. And so I can't remember that time, but I was also doing quite a bit of vlogging as well, because I met someone online called Boston Chicky, who introduced me to, because I used to do these updates where it was just like letting you know what I was up to. I remember I did an update video in 2007, probably about November time, just saying, well, I've moved, this is what I'm doing, and I've got some new sessions on a podcast and a new podcast, and then maybe in 2008 I'll be telling people that my podcast has been closed down because the company doesn't exist anymore. Because that happened, I had at the end of 2007, I had a podcast with lots of audios, and I had over 100,000 downloads of that podcast, and I had something like maybe 300 audios, maybe 200, something like that. It's quite a few. And then the podcast just, without any notice, because it was a free podcast, it was free to upload and everything, and I was getting like 6,000 downloads a week or whatever, I don't know. It was just, it was really good. And then suddenly I went on there, and there was like maybe 110 recordings left, and they deleted all of them, most of them anyway, and I hadn't got them backed up. So in reality I've done a lot more than 800. And then a little bit later on, about a month later, they just deleted the whole channel, the whole website had gone. I think it was called freepodcast.com or something. It's a really good podcast host. It was the first one I think I ever used. But I didn't. The thing is, if they'd have charged, they said, "Oh, we want £10 a month or £20 a month," I would have happily paid it because of the service, because I was reaching such a wide, worldwide audience. But hey, I'll tell you another website I missed. It's MySpace. Because I started out on MySpace, and my first video that I uploaded was a relaxation video. I think it lasted maybe 20 minutes, and it was in black and white, and it was on a webcam, but it was black and white, and I don't know why I'm making hand movements for those of you that are listening, and there's absolutely no reason for me to make these hand movements. It's like I've got some kind of invisible puppet, but I don't. I just heard Andre in the other room making some strange noises. So I uploaded this video, and it's probably the first thing I ever uploaded to the internet. I had no idea that anybody else was doing it. I had no idea that I just didn't know what to think, what was going to happen. And MySpace was all about music. It was all about rock bands and musicians. So I uploaded this video, and I was kind of a little bit nervous, a little bit, you know. And I just got so much positive feedback, so much support from people saying, "Oh, this is great, this is really nice, we could do some relaxation," and people were sharing the video and just being really supportive of me as a person, as a creator, as an artist, whatever you want to call me, as a human. And I ended up getting, in quite a short time, about 10,000 views of that video. And I couldn't believe it. And this is before, this is 2006. YouTube, if it did exist, I didn't know about it. So I think YouTube kind of arrived in 2007, but I didn't know. I only found out about YouTube is because one of my people that lived in the house where I lived was raving about it. So I thought, yeah, I'll check that out. And at that time on YouTube you could upload limitless length of video, and then shortly afterwards, after a couple of months or a few months, they limited it to 10 minutes, I think, something like that, because I don't think their servers could handle the amount of videos that were being uploaded. And they limited it to 15 minutes, and they kept it at that for a while, and then they eventually allowed people to what I'm going to do is Andre. I had to grab him from the floor. He wanted me to pick him up, but I had to do it one-handed. If you can see, if you go like that with his foot, he just grabs it. He can't help it. Hey, do you want to say hello? Say hello to Beth. This is Andre. I wonder if he can see himself. There he goes, look. Probably wants to get off now. Okay. He says hi back to everybody. In all fairness, Andre is never more than about 5 seconds away from falling asleep. Can you imagine what it's like being with someone as boring as me as well? I've had him since he was a baby. I think he was like 5 weeks old, 4 or 5 weeks old when I got him. And he could fit into my hand, he was tiny. And he just heard me talking, just me. And he had no choice. But I guess that's alright, but if you spell his name, to be fair, I spell his name wrong because I just spell it Andre, and it should have a thingy at the top of the E. So I don't even spell his name right. But that's okay, I don't mind. He's never complained to me, to be fair. Dre, so I should spell it O-N-D-R-A-Y. Well, Dr. Dre, his name's Andre, isn't it? I know they're very different people. By the way, this is a bit of useless information, but there's a TV program, like Beth will know what it is, but those of you that don't live in sunny England perhaps won't have heard of it, but it's called Country File. And Country File is on Sundays, Sunday like early evening, and they've got a calendar, and basically they got a load of pictures of wild animals, and they were going to put them onto the calendar and say which picture do you want to be on the front of the calendar. And the one that got voted the top was the picture of the polecats, which are basically ferrets. They're just wild ferrets. So that's quite cool. I only found that out on Sunday while I was watching Countryfile. It was my friend who's also got one as well. He's got a polecat who's Andre's uncle. So I think Andre's probably maybe a third polecat, or maybe half polecat. But with polecats, they're very dark skin, dark noses. They're and ferrets are a lot lighter, but he's quite dark. I think he's like a silverback or something. But you know, you see the albino ferrets that are like pure white, got itchy nose, and he's decided to. He's got a bowl of food just over there. Just pointing my finger. A bowl of dry food. He's eating his wet food, so he's got a bowl of dry food, which are basically ferret pellets, and they're good for his teeth, clean his teeth, and they're just got full of vitamins and stuff. He doesn't go to the bowl. He goes to a place where he's hidden exactly the same dry food, but he's hidden it under something. I mean, this must be like a quarter squirrel, I reckon. I wonder how long I've been talking on here for. How long has me been here? Oh, Sebastian, just going back, Sebastian mentioned that he was one of the first was it like musical tutors, or doing tutorials for playing the keyboard. Oh, going back, that reminds me. Some of the titles of the recordings that I did, which have been a bit unfortunate, and I can honestly say at the time I didn't even think about this. Was one that comes to mind was Andre's going to make lots of noise now. I can always tell when he's going to be misbehaving. He's been asleep for ages and suddenly he's come alive and he's wide awake and he wants to just cause mayhem. And here's me. I'm trying to do a nice, calm, quiet, relaxing, sleepy session. And I've got this ferret playing around with a carrier bag. I mean, part of the reason I do my sessions so late at night is so that it's quiet. I haven't got anyone outside in the garden, or I haven't got, just activity. There's less activity during the night, unless you live with a ferret called Andre. I'm going to call him Audrey. It's quite weird actually thinking about it, because Andre is named after a friend of mine called Andre, but he had a sister called Audrey. I'm going to let you see what he's up to. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, he's just, I had a tidy up and I put a lot of his toys into that green container, and now he wants to get some of his toys out to play. He's determined to get in there. The weird thing is, normally he never wants to go inside there. Doesn't want to bother with it. But because there's stuff in there, right, here we go. Sorry about the excess sound. I suppose I should bring this to an end before he starts playing the trumpet or something. So yeah, I had this session and I called it Relax Completely Using Your Hand. Relax completely using your hand. So this session was basically focusing on your hand, opening your hand, closing your hand, opening your hand, and basically relaxing your hand, which then leads to the rest, like connecting that to your mind and your mind relaxing. And that's what it was about. But I'm gonna end this. This is he's now under the chair, hiding somewhere. There he is. You probably run out the back and then jump up onto the chair, start knocking everything off of the little table. Oh yes, you've run out the back. So I'm gonna He's walked out now. You know, as soon as I stop recording, he'll just probably lay down and go to sleep. It's just because I'm doing this that he just needs to do what he's doing, which is so Beth, you love him, you can come and get him, you can have him. He's he's quiet most of the time, but when he's awake, I really thought he was going to start scratching, because that brown thing that he was on that's near his cage it's actually a cat scratcher, and I thought he was going to start scratching at it, and when he starts, I have to put him in his cage because it's too much, you know. But now I'm starting to get more people watching. I'm about to bring this to an end, so you can watch this again if you want. He's now in the kitchen, opening the kitchen cupboards. Shall I take you into the kitchen? Hi Andy. Andy's joined. Oh no, he's not in the kitchen. This is the amount of cable I've got from a microphone there, wherever it is, to the phone, which is just here. This is how much wire I have. So Beth, you could hold the phone in Bristol and I could still be here in Colchester and talk to you. It's so long, look. It's about 10 miles long. So he's back inside the room, back inside his carrier bag. So I'm going to go this hasn't really happened when I've been live before. If it was recorded, pre-recorded, I could edit out him, but I can't do that on a live session. So I'm going to go. I'll probably be live on YouTube tomorrow, and then I'll be back here probably the night after. You can contact me if you want to message me on Facebook, please do. And my website's jasonnewland.com. My YouTube channel is, just go to YouTube and just put my name in there, Jason Newland Hypnosis. And this little fella, he's been drinking because it's all wet around this, so he's got this little blue thing over there that's full of water, so he likes to dip his little beard into it. So Andre wants to say hello to Boston Chicky, wants to say, well, he said goodbye to everyone, so say goodbye to Sebastian, say goodbye to Beth, say goodbye to Andy, and say goodbye to everybody else that's been watching, and say sorry. Oops, sorry, I nearly dropped him. Say sorry to everyone for making all that noise. Yay? Or all that sound. I should say sound. There you go. Give him a little bit of a bye, Beth. And Andy, you're right. He doesn't care, does he? Do you remember when he was tiny? Right, I'm going to go now, and you'll take care of yourselves. I will very likely be live on YouTube tomorrow, or today, later on. I'm going to try and do alternate Facebook live stream and then YouTube live stream. But I'll share on Facebook and YouTube anyway.